They're going to be treated fairly. The fancy way of saying it is equal protection under the law. And so we have to believe that. So we've seen General Petraeus, given an indictment for not being careful and doing the right thing. We see ordinary soldiers. I represent a state that has, Fort Campbell and Fort Knox in it. And if a soldier makes a mistake, there's no forgiveness. He doesn't get a second chance on this. But the way it links into something that I talked about in the book is criminal justice reform. There is a little bit of an uneasiness in our country that not everybody is treated fairly. And there is some question, if you're poor and maybe you're African American, you don't get the same justice. Now, do I think it's the same as it's all about racism? No, but I think race does have something to do with it. But I do think we have to be very, very careful that the rule of law needs to be the same for everybody. And at least for maybe the last 10 or 15 years, there were many of our drug penalties that disproportionately seemed to be applied to minorities. Some of it was simply the different type of drugs that were used by different races. So you could have the identical amount of cocaine, and if it was in a powder form versus the crack cocaine, many African Americans were put in jail for 10, 15 years, 20 years for this, and the white college student who had rich parents seemed to have a different sense of justice. And now we have Hillary Clinton, same sort of thing. She gets a different sense of justice than the poor kid in the inner cities getting. But it's destructive to the rule of law if people are treated differently by the law. And so, I think frankly that what she did, and I think it's still going to have ramifications. In some ways, I think Comey felt a bit guilty about not doing it. And so I think to assuage his guilt, I think Comey really did something most of them never do. He went through